Time having arrived, I call the meeting to the City Council for today, November 25th, to order. And if you could just please rise and help us salute our beautiful flag. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Well, councilors and guests, I think tonight when we go home, we're going to have the Pledge Allegiance in our mind constantly, since this is the third time we've done this today. Councilor Fowell, I believe you have a presentation. Would you like to make?
Yes, I'd like to ask for a moment of recognition, and Chief Nadelli will join me.
Please, sir.
I said we start first.
Councilors, since last August, the Chief Financial Officer of the city has given hundreds and hundreds of hours in the service of our residents, our departments, and everyone who has a financial interest in the city. There was a recent school committee meeting last Tuesday, and as a result of that meeting, I received a call early in the morning from Chief Nadelli, and I'll let him carry on from there for a moment.
Good evening, Mr. President. Good evening, councilors.
Good evening, Chief.
I'm honored to be here with Councilor Falwell to recognize someone who, over my tenure as chief, and even before that, has not only become a trusted ally in the city, but a true friend. Dr. Clarkson has put in endless hours for this city in the last year and a half since we got ourselves into a tough spot. And unfortunately, so many of us realize what he does. I get to see it front and center every day. There are people who have quite honestly treated him inhumanely, despicably, and it is unfortunate. But I know, with present company excluded, I know that you folks don't feel that way, especially with my discussions with Councilor Falwell. I think what this city owes Dr. Clarkson and what he's done to right the ship, working with the mayor, and get us back on firm ground is incredible. My own experiences alone, I asked Deputy Chief Albanese to join me here tonight because we worked hand in hand with our grants and financial issues with Dr. Clarkson. And without that guidance, we wouldn't be where we are as a fire department. And we've been able to accomplish a lot of things. And a lot of that is due to my friend, Dr. Troy Clarkson. This is a time for healing. We've come out of a bad way in this city. We're on firm ground, and it appears to me, unfortunately, that it continues on, and there's no need for that. As a department head here in the city, you know, you hate to say ask for peace, but that's really what it needs to be. And there's no need for the treatment that this poor man has endured. And I know he's probably bothered I'm even bringing this up, but it sickens me, you know, in true Brockton fashion. You got one of us, you got all of us, right? And we stick up for our own. And Dr. Clarkson is a true believer in this city and what we can all accomplish here. So I thought it was important to relay my concerns to Councilor Fowler. We have some early morning chats once in a while. And I wanted him to understand that, you know, I'm here speaking on behalf of the fire department, but I'm sure every department head out there that works with Dr. Clarkson on a regular basis feels the same thing I feel. So I think it's important that we work together, and I know Dr. Clarkson has made that a very purposeful thing moving forward, that we're going to get through this together. And I want to thank him personally as the fire chief for his guidance and leadership through these tough times, but personally also as a friend.
So what all of you don't know, and in life there are these defining moments, it's time for the public to know what's going on. This man serves as our chief financial officer. He's been in meetings where he has been so disparaged, so insulted by a member of the school committee, one of the mayor's staff had to mute that school committee member's mic on the Zoom call to halt what he was going through. Last week, he basically was called a liar when a member of the school committee said, "I don't believe anything that you say." This is not Brockton. This is not Brockton city government. And the only way to stop this is to stand up the good men and women of this city, and I consider Chief Nardelli one, is to say no more. We're not going to allow a department head or anyone to be disparaged, denigrated, degraded, simply because they're doing their work and you don't like what they may be telling you. So this is a citation that I asked to be put together, and it's to Dr. Troy Clarkson in recognition of earning your Doctor of Philosophy degree, your focus on financial stability for the city, while always maintaining professional conduct despite derogatory and unprofessional remarks at school committee meetings. And be it known that the City Council extends best wishes for your continued success. And I hope all of us will stand up for department heads or for anyone when another elected official determines that they're going to disparage them or call into question their integrity. I won't stand for it, and I will stand up and call out those people who do that, and I don't care about the political consequences if people don't like it. It's the right thing to do. It's the right thing to do. So, Dr. Clarkson, there's no pay raise on this, but this is for you, and we thank you.
As I said earlier, Mr. President, it is my honor to serve this community, my hometown. So I appreciate the support from all of you, and onward we go. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Mr. Clerk, agenda number 1, please.
Item 1, we have the acceptance of the minutes of the November 12, 2024 City Council meeting.
Accepted and placed on file.
Item 2, we have the report of the Finance Committee for its meeting of November 18, 2024.
That too is accepted and placed on file.
We have a communication from the Fire Chief informing the City Council that the Brockton Fire Department has been awarded a fiscal year 2025 Massachusetts Municipal Public Safety Staffing Grant in the amount of $323,822.71 from the Commonwealth of Massachusetts Executive Office of Public Safety and Security. This is a non-matching grant with no cost to the city.
Accepted and placed on file.
We have a communication from the Mayor recommending the same.
Accepted and placed on file.
Communication from the CFO relative to the same.
Accepted and placed on file.
We have a communication from the Mayor in accordance with the general laws of Massachusetts, Chapter 44, recommending that the City Council authorize the acceptance and expenditure of the grant award in the amount of $5,000 from the Department of Industrial Accidents to the City of Brockton. These funds will allow city employees the opportunity to attend CPR AED training classes.
Accepted and placed on file.
Communication from the CFO relative to the same.
That too is accepted and placed on file.
We have a communication from the Mayor supporting the request of a right of easement for National Grid to install the underground electric system at 135 Warren Ave, Brockton, Mass. This easement is part of the ongoing work to support the the Public Safety Building Project.
Accepted and placed on file.
Communication from the Mayor recommending that the City Council accepts the lease agreement entered into with Metro South Chamber of Commerce, Inc., a nonprofit corporation which has an address of 60 School Street for certain real property located at 50 School Street in Brockton, Mass. Said lease agreement shall run for an 8-month term beginning November 1st, 2024 and ending June 30, 2025.
Accepted and placed on file.
Communication from the CFO relative to the same.
Accepted and placed on file.
We have a communication from the Mayor recommending that the City Council accepts the lease agreement entered into with BAS Holding Corp., a foreign corporation organized under the laws of Delaware, and which has an address of 1958 Broadway, P.O. Box 172, Raynham, Mass., for certain real property located at 433 Belmont Street, Brockton, Mass. Said lease agreement shall run for a 3-year term, beginning October 1st, 2024, and ending June 30, 2025, with 2 consecutive 1-year options to extend.
Accepted and placed on file.
Communication from the CFO relative to the same.
Accepted and placed on file.
Communication from the Mayor requesting under the provisions of Chapter 79 of the General Laws the City of Brockton for the purpose of layout and reconstruction and maintaining said Warren Avenue and Goddard Road does take permanent easements under Chapter 79 of the general laws and all other general and special laws thereto enabling the following described interests in real property located in the City of Brockton, Plymouth County, Commonwealth of Massachusetts. The following easements over parcels on a land plan entitled Easement of Land for Warren Ave, Brockton, Mass., dated November 4, 2024, prepared by Daywood Engineering, Braintree, Mass., recorded herewith. The plan, said easement being more particularly bounded and describes as follows in the order.
Accepted and placed on file.
Unfinished business, we have the reappointment of Mr. Matthew Stanton of 160 Tribune Street, Brockton, Mass. to the War Memorial Board of Trustees for a 3-year term ending on October 2027. In City Council, October 28, 2024. Read and referred to the Standing Committee on Finance. That report was favorable.
The
Mr.
question,
President,
Councilor Fowler.
after reading, I move to take items 14, 15, and 16 collectively and vote on them.
Second.
A motion has been properly made to take 14, 15, and 16 collectively and vote on them. All those in favor? Anyone opposed? It carries.
Item 15, we have the appointment of Mr. Abraham Belize, 49 Otis Street, Apartment 3, Brockton, Mass., to the Brockton License Commission for a 3-year term ending in October 2027. In City Council, October 28, 2024. Read and referred to the Standing Committee on Finance. That report was favorable. We also have the appointment of Mrs. Marge Shepherd of 29 Hancock Street, Brockton, to the Brockton Council on Aging as an alternate for a 3-year term ending in November 2027. In City Council, November 12, 2024. Read and referred to the Standing Committee on Finance. That report was favorable.
The question comes to us on confirmation of the 3 appointments by roll call. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Azak?
Yes.
Durancourt?
Yes.
Farwell?
Yes.
Griffin?
Yes.
Lally?
Yes.
Rodriguez?
Yes.
Tavares?
Yes.
Texera? Yes. Thompson?
Yes.
9 in the affirmative.
And the appointment is confirmed.
Ordered in accordance with the general laws of Massachusetts, Chapter 44, recommending that the City Council approve the tax increment exemption agreement, TIE, between the City of Brockton and Bryan Hotel LLC for the property located at 31 West Elm Street. In City Council, October 28, 2024. Read and referred to the Standing Committee on Finance. That report was favorable.
And the question is on adoption by a roll call. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Azak?
No.
Durancourt?
Yes.
Farwell?
Yes.
Griffin?
Yes.
Lally?
Yes.
Rodriguez?
Yes.
Tavares?
Yes.
Texera?
Yes.
Thompson?
Yes.
8 to 1.
And the order is adopted. Number 18, sir.
Ordered that the City Council authorizes the acceptance and expenditure of the total grant funds in the amount of $15,000 from Old Colony Planning Council to the Council on Aging. In City Council, October 28, 2024. Read and referred to the Standing Committee on Finance. That report was favorable.
The question is on adoption by a roll call. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Azak?
She stepped up.
Durancourt?
No.
Farwell?
Yes.
Griffin?
Yes.
Lally?
Yes.
Rodriguez?
Yes.
Tavares?
Yes.
Texera?
Yes.
Thompson?
Yes.
7 in the affirmative, 1 in opposition.
The order is adopted.
Item 19, ordered that the city clerk be, we've received a request that this be postponed to the next finance meeting. I will read it. Ordered that the city clerk be directed to amend order number 1 as voted by the council on June 24, 2024, to amend the order so that the language specifically states that the $510,061,072 appropriation order for the fiscal year revenue budget reflect that the appropriation included the line item for $1 million spending from the stabilization account, $952,075 from certified free cash, $7,947,925 from Chapter 324 Reserve Fund, and $650,000 from ambulance receipts as reflected in the FY25 budget. Well, excuse me. Be it further ordered that the city clerk be directed to amend order number 3 as voted by the council on June 24th to amend the order so that language specifically states that the $23,766,360 appropriation order for the FY25 revenue budget reflect that the appropriation for certified retained earnings included the line item for $2,606,668 from the DPW water enterprise account. Be it further ordered that the city clerk be directed to amend order number 6 as voted by the council on June 24th, 2024, to amend the order so the language specifically states excuse me, that the $2,396,174 appropriation order for the FY25 budget, revenue budget, reflect that the appropriation for certified retained earnings included the line item for $510,967 from the Parks and Recreation Enterprise.
Mr. President,
Councilor
I'd like to make a motion to postpone this to the next, was it Finance Committee meeting? City Council meeting.
City Council.
Second.
A motion has been properly made and second to postpone this agenda item to the next city council meeting. All those in favor? All those opposed? Postponement, it receives.
Item 20, ordered in accordance with the general laws of Massachusetts, Chapter 44, recommending that the City Council approve the expenditure of $2,226,390.51 from DPW Water desal fixed charge to Aquaria Water LLC. In City Council, October 28, 2024, read and referred to the Standing Committee on Finance. That report was favorable.
The question is on adoption by a roll call vote. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Azak?
Yes.
Durancourt?
Yes.
Farwell?
Yes.
Griffin?
Yes.
Lally?
Yes.
Rodriguez?
Yes.
Tavares?
Yes.
Texera?
Yes.
Thompson?
Yes.
9 in the affirmative.
And the order is adopted. 21, sir.
Item 21, ordered in accordance with the general laws of Massachusetts, Chapter 44, recommending that the City Council approve the expenditure of $4,035.40 from DPW Refuse Purchase of Service, $3,235.40. From DPW Refuse Goods and Supplies, $800. To American Retro Works, Inc., $3,235.40. And to FBS Tire Recycling, Inc., $800. In City Council, October 28, 2024, read and referred to the Standing Committee on Finance. That report was favorable.
The question is on adoption by a roll call. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Azak?
Yes.
Durancourt?
Yes.
Farwell?
Yes.
Griffin?
Yes.
Lally?
Yes.
Rodriguez?
Yes.
Tavares?
Yes.
Texera?
Yes.
Thompson?
Yes.
9 in the affirmative.
And the order is adopted.
Item 22, ordered in accordance with the general laws of Massachusetts, Chapter 44, recommending that the City Council approve the expenditure of $726,325.44 from DPW Purchase of Service to Southworth Milton, Inc., $1,140.48, to Constellation New Energy, Inc., $160,191.92, to Veolia Water North America Operations, Inc., $539,336.17, to the Plymouth County Sheriff's Department, it's $4,788. To the Brockton Police, $15,768.87. To W. Robert Patterson and Associates, $5,100.
The question is on adoption by a roll call vote. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Azak?
Yes.
Durancourt?
Yes.
Farwell?
Yes.
Lally?
Yes.
Rodriguez?
Yes.
Tavares?
Yes.
Texera?
Yes.
Thompson?
Yes.
8 in the affirmative.
And the order is adopted.
Item 23, ordered in accordance with the general laws of Massachusetts, Chapter 44, recommending the City Council approve the expenditure of $47,466.82 from DPW Water Purchase of Services, $45,434.95. From DPW Water Goods and Supplies, $2,031.87. To East Bridgewater Police Department, $7,727.50. To Cummins, Inc., $815.15. To the Brockton Police Department, $35,272.30. To the Whitman Police Department, $660. To Town of Holbrook, $960. To Regan Supply Styles Company, Inc., $200. To HD Supply, $1,153.59. To Home Depot, $79.98. To Chadwick Barrows, $598.30. In City Council, October 28, 2024, read and referred to the Standing Committee on Finance. That report was favorable.
And the question is on adoption by a roll call vote. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Azak?
Yes.
Durancourt?
Yes.
Farwell?
Yes.
Lally?
Yes.
Rodriguez?
Yes.
Tavares?
Yes.
Texera?
Yes.
Thompson?
Yes.
8 in the affirmative.
And the order is adopted.
Ordered that the following named sum be, and the same is hereby transferred, as the same was submitted by the mayor as follows. Transfer of $99,556 from Cable Revolving Fund to Brockton Community Access. In City Council, October 28, 2024, read and referred to the Standing Committee on Finance. That report was favorable.
And the question comes to us for adoption by a roll call vote. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Azak?
Yes.
Durancourt,
Yes.
Farwell,
Yes.
Lally,
Yes.
Rodriguez.
Yes.
Tavares.
Yes.
Texera.
Yes.
Thompson.
Yes.
8 in the affirmative.
And the order is adopted.
Ordered in accordance with the general laws of Massachusetts, Chapter 44, recommending that the City Council approve the expenditure of $46,736.12 from Finance Purchase of Services to Public Consulting Group LLC in City Council, October 28, 2024. Read and referred to the Standing Committee on Finance. That report was favorable.
And the question is on adoption by a roll call vote. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Azak.
Yes.
Durancourt,
Yes.
Farwell,
Yes.
Lally,
Yes.
Rodriguez.
Yes.
Tavares.
Yes.
Texera.
Yes.
Thompson.
Yes.
8 in the affirmative.
And the order is adopted.
Ordered that the City of Brockton has been designated as a gateway community by the Commonwealth and that the Commonwealth has implemented the Housing Development Incentive Program, HDIP, to encourage the development of market-rate housing in gateway communities through state tax credits to qualified development projects. The mayor, as chief executive officer, is hereby authorized to submit an amendment to the Downtown Brockton Housing Development Incentive Plan and Zone to the Commonwealth of Massachusetts Department of Housing and Community Development for its review and approval. The mayor, as chief executive officer and acting through the director of planning and economic development, is further hereby authorized to act as the city's administrator of the HDIP plan and is authorized to enter into real estate tax increment exemption agreements between the City of Brockton and qualified housing development projects, subject to favorable recommendation by the Brockton TIF Committee and approval by the Brockton City Council. In City Council, November 12, 2024, read and referred to the Standing Committee on Finance. That report was favorable.
The question is on adoption by a roll call vote. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Azak.
No.
Durancourt,
Yes.
Farwell,
Yes.
Lally,
Yes.
Rodriguez.
Yes.
Tavares.
Yes.
Thompson.
Yes.
6 in the affirmative, 1 in opposition.
And the order is adopted. 27, sir.
Ordered that the City Council authorizes the acceptance and expenditure of the total grant funds in the amount of $150,000 from the Executive Office of Administration and Finance to the City of Brockton. In City Council, November 12, 2024, read and referred to the Standing Committee on Finance. That report was favorable.
The question is on adoption by a roll call vote. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Azak.
Yep.
Durancourt,
Yes.
Farwell,
Yes.
Lally,
Yes.
Rodriguez.
Yes.
Tavares.
Yes.
Thompson.
Yes.
7 in the affirmative.
And the order is adopted.
Ordered that the City Council authorize the this one we'd like to get postponed also. Ordered that the City Council authorize the revocation of the general fund subsidy to the Parks and Recreation Department in the FY25 budget in the amount of $400,000. In City Council, November 12, 2024, read and referred to the Standing Committee on Finance. That report was favorable.
Councilor
Mr.
Azak?
President, I'd like to know why and who's being asked to postpone these items. I'd like clarification on this one and the previous one.
Through the chair,
The
Mr. Clark?
CFO had reached out today. The Department of Revenue wanted these all voted on. There are 2 other items that will be coming before you soon, and they want them for their rules under one vote.
Great, I'd like to, in that case, when these matters are happening, I think I'd like to be informed before I come to the meeting of why things are being asked to be postponed.
We only received an email at 4 o'clock this
I'd like to
afternoon.
receive it, thank you.
Mr. President,
Councilor Allen.
motion to postpone item 28.
Second.
A motion has been properly made and second to postpone item 28 to the next council meeting. All those in favor? All those opposed? It carries. Number 29, sir.
Item 29, ordered in accordance with the general laws of Massachusetts, Chapter 44, recommending that City Council approve the expenditure of $26,832.93 from Police Department Purchase of Services to Verizon, $16,955.76, to SureTech Inc., $4,613, to Plymouth County Sheriff's Department, $4,564, to New Era Technologies, $300, to Gannett New England Local IQ, $290.71, to the City of Brockton, $110. In City Council, October 28, 2024, read and referred to the Standing Committee on Finance. That report was favorable.
The question is on adoption by a roll call vote. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Azak.
Yes.
Durancourt,
Yes.
Farwell,
Yes.
Lally,
Yes.
Rodriguez.
Yes.
Tavares.
Yes.
Texera.
Yes.
Thompson.
Yes.
8 in the affirmative.
And the order is adopted.
Item 30, ordered that the City Council authorizes the acceptance and expenditure of a donation in the amount of $1,000 from Northeastern Savings Bank to Brockton Police Department. in City Council November 12, 2024. Read and referred to the Standing Committee on Finance. That report was favorable.
The question is on adoption by a roll call vote. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Azak.
Yes.
Durancourt.
Yes.
Farwell.
Yes.
Griffin.
Yes.
Lally.
Yes.
Rodriguez.
Yes.
Tavares.
Yes.
Texera.
Yes.
Thompson.
Yes.
9 in the affirmative.
And the order is adopted.
Item 31, order that the City Council authorizes the acceptance and expenditure of the total grant funds in the amount of $60,000 from the Executive Office of Public Safety and Security to the Brockton Police Department. In City Council November 12, 2024. Read and referred to the Standing Committee on Finance. That report was favorable.
The question is on adoption by a roll call vote. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Azak.
Yes.
Durancourt.
Yes.
Farwell.
Yes.
Griffin.
Yes.
Lally.
Yes.
Rodriguez.
Yes.
Tavares.
Yes.
Texera.
Yes.
Thompson.
Yes.
9 in the affirmative.
And the order is adopted. 32, sir.
Ordered that the City Council authorize the revocation of retained earnings to balance the refuse enterprise in the FY25 budget in the amount of $294,639.
That had a request to postpone as well.
That too was requested to
So can
postpone.
we, who requested that it be
The
postponed?
same.
From
For
the
the same group.
CFO.
These are, just for your information, Councilor, these are all items that you actually voted for when you approved the budget. The Department of Revenue, in their work with Mr. Clarkson's office, is asking for some added votes to reinforce those votes. This is all the Department of Revenue and working to set the tax rate, and they are the ones who have requested that all of these are voted with, I think, 2 other items that are going to be coming before you.
That's understandable, Mr. Clerk. I just feel like we should be notified ahead of time when we're asked to postpone things. Thank you.
I agree, but as the clerk said, we found out about it at 4 o'clock this afternoon.
Okay.
Motion to postpone.
Second.
A motion has been properly made and second to postpone 32 to the next council meeting. All those in favor? Anyone opposed? It carries.
Ordered that the City Council authorizes the acceptance and expenditure of the total grant funds in the amount of $20,655 from Lieutenant Joseph P. DiBernardo Foundation to the Brockton Fire Department. In City Council November 12, 2024. Read and referred to the Standing Committee on Finance. That report was favorable.
The question is on adoption by a roll call vote. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Azak.
Yes.
Durancourt.
Yes.
Farwell.
Yes.
Griffin.
Yes.
Lally.
Yes.
Rodriguez.
Yes.
Tavares.
Yes.
Texera.
Yes.
Thompson.
Yes.
9 in the affirmative.
And the order is adopted.
Resolved to invite Brockton Fire Chief Brian Nardelli and anyone he may wish to be accompanied by to appear at a Finance Committee to discuss the whole blood truck put on the road earlier this year with the grant funding by the town of Canton, how it is being used, how it has benefited the city of Brockton, and other important related information. In City Council November 12, 2024, read and referred to the Standing Committee on Finance. That report was favorable.
The question is on adoption by a hand vote. All those in favor? Anyone opposed? It carries.
Item 35, resolved to have Superintendent of Schools Dr. Priya Tahiliani appear before a committee of the Brockton City Council to discuss the methods and policies of the Brockton School Department regarding co-rechecks on employees that may have direct contact with the students of the Brockton Public Schools. In City Council November 12, 2024, read and referred to the Standing Committee on Finance. That report was favorable.
The question is on adoption by a hand vote. All those in favor? Anyone opposed? It carries. Number 36, sir.
Resolved, be it resolved by the Brockton City Council to invite Troy Clarkson, Chief Financial Officer, Priya Tahiliani, Superintendent of the School Department, and Jennifer Perez, Director of Transportation for Brockton Public Schools, to appear before the Finance Committee to discuss and provide an update on the current status of the transportation budget and general update for the Transportation Department. In City Council, September 23, 2024, read and referred to the Standing Committee on Finance. That report was favorable.
The question is on adoption by a hand vote. All those in favor? Anyone opposed? It carries. Number 37, sir.
Mr. President,
Council Fowler.
I would like to move on item 37 to have Legislative Counsel provide a quick overview. It's an extensive ordinance about accessory dwelling units. It is printed in the agenda, and I'm sure it'll be printed on the city website.
It is. I'll read the first paragraph and then you can.
Second.
Motion has
Summarize
been
it.
properly made to forego the reading of of item 37. All those in favor? Anyone opposed? It carries.
Ordinance, be it ordained by the City Council of the City of Brockton, Article 3, General Regulations and Permitted Modifications of the City Zoning Ordinance is amended as follows, as attached.
So this would establish accessory dwelling units as permitted accessory uses in the R1 zones, and then it provides certain standards for attached ADUs and detached ADUs, and then standards for all ADUs. And it's done to be in compliance with the state law that needs to be acted upon before, I think it's February 8th.
And for the folks that are watching us at home, what is an ADU?
It's an accessory dwelling unit,
What does that mean in English?
a separate living space.
You get that? We're good? All right, that item will be referred to the Committee on Ordinance. Number 38, sir.
Order that the City Council authorizes the acceptance and expenditure of the total grant funds in the amount of $323,822.71 from the Executive Office of Public Safety and Security to the Brockton Fire Department.
That will be referred to the Committee on Finance.
Item 39, ordered that the City Council authorizes the acceptance and expenditure of the total grant funds in the amount of $5,000 from the Department of Industrial Accidents to the City of Brockton.
That, too, shall be referred to the Committee on Finance.
Item 4, ordered a right of easement for National Grid to install the underground electric system at 135 Warren Ave, Brockton, Mass. This easement is part of the ongoing work to support the public safety building project.
Referred to the Committee on Finance.
41, ordered that pursuant to Mass General Law, Chapter 40, Section 14, and the City of Brockton's Ordinance 2-157, the City of Brockton hereby accepts the lease agreement entered into with Metro South Chamber of Commerce, a nonprofit corporation which has an address of 60 School Street, Brockton, Mass., for certain real property located at 50 School Street, Brockton, Mass. Said lease agreement shall run for an 8-month term beginning November 1, 2024, and ending June 30, 2025. The mayor is authorized to execute any and all documents necessary in connection with said lease agreement.
Referred to the Committee on Finance.
Ordered that pursuant to Mass General Law, Chapter 40, Section 14, and the City of Brockton's Ordinance 2-157, the City of Brockton hereby accepts the lease agreement entered into with BAS Holding Corp., a foreign corporation organized under the laws of the state of Delaware, and which has an address of 1958 Broadway, P.O. Box 172, Raynham, Mass., for certain real property located at 433 Belmont Street, Brockton, Mass. Said lease agreements shall run for a 3-year term beginning October 1st, 2024, and ending June 30, 2025, with 2 consecutive 1-year options to extend. The mayor is authorized to execute any and all documents necessary in connection with said lease agreement.
Referred to the Committee on Finance.
43, ordered, whereas the City Council, acting on behalf of the City of Brockton, has determined that it is necessary and essential as a matter of public welfare to reconstruct portions of Warren Avenue and Goddard Road in the City of Brockton, and that the public interest and conveniences require the acquisition of easements over portions of certain properties abutting Warren Ave and Goddard Road. Now therefore, acting under the provisions of Chapter 79 of the General Laws, the City of Brockton, for the purpose of layout and reconstruction and maintaining said Warren Ave and Goddard Road, does take permanent easements under Chapter 79 of the General Laws and all other general and special laws thereto, enabling the following described interests in real property situated in the City of Brockton, Plymouth County, Commonwealth of Mass. The following easements over parcels of land on a plan entitled Easement Plan of Land for Warren Ave, Brockton, Mass., dated November 4, 2024, prepared by Daywood Engineering, Braintree, Mass., recorded herewith as the plan. Said easement being more particularly bounded and described as follows, and the meets and bounds are attached and on the city website.
That will be referred to the Committee on Finance.
Resolved to invite the Brockton Fire Department's new public education officer, Peter Reardon, and anyone else he may wish to be accompanied by, to appear at a Finance Committee meeting to discuss his role and the significance of BFD's public education efforts.
Referred to the Committee on Finance.
I have
Late file.
Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion to introduce a late file.
Second.
A motion has been properly made in second to accept the late file. All those in favor? All those opposed? It carries.
We have communication from the DPW Commissioner requesting to accept and authorize the expenditure of a grant received in the amount of $450,000 from National Grid USA Service Company, Inc., DBA National Grid. The grant has a goal of improving the energy efficiency, energy equity, and sustainability of all National Grid customers within the city of Brockton over a 5-year term of November 1st, 2024 through March 21, 2029, and supports an ongoing commitment to economic growth and climate change mitigation, and to strive to lead by example to achieve a vibrant, cost-effective, clean energy future.
Accepted and placed on file.
Communication from the mayor recommending the same.
Accepted and placed on file.
Communication from the CFO relative to the same.
Accepted and placed on file.
And we have an ordered that the City Council authorizes the acceptance and expenditure of the total grant funds in the amount of $450,000 from National Grid to the Department of Public Works.
Refer to the Committee on Finance.
And that is all I have.
Councilors, that's the end of our agenda. Does anybody have any, Madam Councilor from Ward 7?
Thank you, Mr. President. First of all, before I forget, I'd like to wish everybody at home a very happy and thankful Thanksgiving this week. And we have the parade, I believe, on Saturday, so hopefully we will see everybody there. But on another note, I have a couple of things I'd like to mention. We started this meeting by presenting a citation to our CFO. Congratulations to Mr. Clarkson. But I have to tell my fellow councilors, I wasn't elected to keep an eye on the school committee. We were elected to vote on the budget, and actions by other members are just, that's not our responsibility. Just like we don't accept as councilors for people to tell us how we act or what we should say, I don't believe we should tell other people how to act or behave. That's up to the voters who elect them. What I am upset about is at my desk, stamped today's date at 4:07, is that the mayor chose to veto the ordinance, the encampment ordinance, which I'm very upset about. I've reached out to him. I was hoping he wouldn't veto it. I can understand if he doesn't, he doesn't wish to, agree with it, that's fine, but to veto it as a councilor is really unacceptable, because from my understanding, when this ordinance was written, and it wasn't proposed by myself, I agree with it, but I believe the councilors did bring in the law department, the Health and Human Services Director from the mayor's office, so everybody was involved in writing this ordinance. So at the last minute after we voted on it and it passed, to have it come back, vetoed, and to say that, the federal government feels that it is okay for, unhoused people to sleep in people's doorways, businesses. I don't care. I mean, we need to worry about our residents, our business owners. They're leaving. They're frustrated. I received so many calls after we voted on this and it passed, and they were all favorable, thanking us, not just me, but all of us that supported this because our community needed this. And I even told the Enterprise reporter how upset I was at the headline, criminalizing homelessness. That is just mean to say to a city that gives so much. We're not criminalizing homelessness. We're trying to help businesses flourish. I didn't want to support the TIF for the downtown or whatever what is being proposed. Why are we spending any more money downtown? Why are we going to bring any more people downtown? I know downtown's the main concern, but I've been dealing with issues with encampments up at Westgate Mall, the businesses all around Westgate Mall, Walmart, Madrid Square, DW Fields Park. 10 years we've been dealing with this. I've even had councilors who voted not to support this call me and tell me what am I going to do, because they're getting complaints as well from the encampments. There are directors of OCPC who didn't feel safe to be in the park because of encampments. I have no problem calling people out. But to not support us and help us, that's really just, okay, call us with all your problems, but when we try to fix something, and I know it's not perfect, but when we try to fix it, not to support us is unacceptable. So I don't know who or how we're going to fix this matter, but I hope one of these councilors will get a conscience and change their vote and pass this, because I'm very upset with Mayor Sullivan, and I respect him. I went to school with Mayor Sullivan, always supported him, but to do this to us at the last minute, and none of these reasons make sense to me, none of them. So I hope councilors will stand together and get this passed, because even though it's not perfect. It may not even be good, but it needs to be done. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Azak. Anyone else? Councilor Farwell.
Since I didn't see anyone seek recognition, so I just want to mention the turkey giveaway the other day, which really was inspiring. Councilor Thompson was there, Councilor Lally, Councilor Nicastro, Councilor Griffin. When I arrived at 11:15, there were 200 people in line already. You know, it's uplifting when you're in public life to see people happy. And you saw people happy because they were going to get a turkey and they were going to feed their family. I just want to take a minute and respond to my colleague, for whom I have great respect, from Ward 7. We are not elected to watch the school committee. You are quite right. But I think we're elected to set standards of decency. And when those standards of decency by fellow elected representatives of this community are thrown aside, and someone like Dr. Claxon is basically called a liar, that I don't believe anything that comes out of your mouth, somebody has to stand up and say, we don't condone that. We expect more of all of us, and we expect more of the school committee. And I make no apologies for what I said this evening or presenting him with that citation. No one should go through what he goes through. No one. It's unacceptable, and it's not going to change. I understand tonight we were vilified over something. I don't know what it is yet, but we're all here, and we're courteous to one another, and we get along even when we have a split vote. I don't know why that doesn't carry over to other bodies, but if you enable people by remaining silent to do what they're doing, to tear another human being down, that's not right. And I can't sit back idly. I'm sorry to all of you. I can't sit back idly in allowing that to happen. Thank you.
So,
Anyone else before
I
we go
just
back?
quick return to Councilor Farwell, and I do apologize, councilors, but first of all, the turkey giveaway's been going on for 10 years, and thank you to Sam Chenette who organizes it. He does a great job in the community. It is a great event. But Councilor, I agree with you. But the problem is I've sat here many years in my 10 years where I've wanted to crawl under my desk because of certain councilors, including yourself, spoke disrespectfully to department heads and to Mayor Carpenter.
Thank you, ma'am. Councilor Thompson.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Councilor Azak did personally mention Sam Chenette. I wanted to also mention his efforts in the turkey giveaway. Another great event. I think over 700 turkeys were given away this past weekend, and that really helps families here in Brockton have a good Thanksgiving. So Sam Chenette, The Spot, C&J Barbecue, another great sponsors for this event, and so thank you for everything you do for the city of Brockton. Also backing up what Councilor Azak stated about the camping ordinance. I too am disappointed in the mayor vetoing this important legislation, but to be honest, I'm not shocked. I feel like there's a complete, on the mayor's part, a misunderstanding or an incomprehension of what's happening downtown. For the past 4 years, we have sat with multiple meetings or forums regarding the issues downtown, and almost nothing has been accomplished on the to-do list. I did sponsor an ordinance to clean up the bridges, sponsored the roadway safety ordinance because of people walking into the street seeking, shaking their cup. And then when the Supreme Court allowed this council to act on behalf of the people of Brockton and especially the residents of Ward 5 who live downtown, have begged this council and this city to do something about this homeless encampment problem. The Supreme Court empowered this city to act, and that we finally did act on behalf of our residents. The mayor goes ahead and vetoes this, but we will work as a council to override this veto and act in the best interests of the citizens of Brockton. If the mayor's not going to do it, this council will. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Councilor. Councilor Derenicourt.
Thank you, Mr. President. And to you, to my colleagues, I believe I can say that, I have great amount of respect for this council. And not just today, but I can remember vividly when I joined in 2018. I mean, obviously, we do have differences in terms of opinions, and sometimes we take some top vote. That's part of the job. But what I will not accept is the fact that, we are expecting, some of the, and although I guess we will have the opportunity to bring this to debate, but in terms of some of the comments that was made tonight from some of my colleagues, and I think I should say something. Let me just put it to you like this. Do we have a homeless situation in Brockton? Of course we do. Does that problem need to be fixed? I think we have. And obviously we do have some people who may feel uncomfortable. But what I will not ever accept is the fact that some of us believe that in order for us to fix this problem, we gotta find these people. That's what bothers me the most. And the question is, and I know I said that, the last time I spoke, how do you expect somebody who's, unhoused or homeless to pay that? That's my problem here. And not just enforcing that, but the question is, how do you expect a judge to enforce something like this? And how do you expect the law department, in collaboration with the police department, to work together to bring this into situations? This is not as simple as you might think it is. And obviously, each of us, I believe to my core, we want to do what is best for the city of Brockton. But the problem is that how do you expect somebody who may not even have a identification to know who they are and expect them to pay that money? Well, I don't know how you expect them to do it, but I knew the last time I spoke in this chamber, I told you a story about a young man doing well in life, okay? Beautiful daughter, wife, and a dog. The house caught on fire, and that person become homeless. I believe we have a homeless situation in the city, and that problem needs to be fixed. We need to find a solution. And although I was not part of drafting that ordinance, and I can guarantee you, if I were part of it, maybe the outcome would be like this. But to expect some people who are down, to expect them to find money to pay for that, I just don't know how you're going to enforce it. That's my problem, though. And I think this is a debate that I'm willing to have. And obviously, as we speak, the mayor has vetoed it, and it's coming back to the city council. And I'm hoping that during that moment, we will have a debate in terms of how do we implement something like this. And I'll be honest with you, I mean, obviously, by virtue of life and family and job, I'm not homeless. But I don't know how I'm going to explain to my mother, who's about to be 73, that I vote in favor of something like this. I don't know how I can do it. I don't know how I can explain to my mother that I voted to charge the homeless people solely because they are on the street. I just don't know how. And I think the problem, I had a conversation with the Ward 5 Council, and I said it, let's remove the money. Let's remove that fine. And then let's find a solution. But it's feels like some of us are very adamant about charging them. And I said it, even if it's $1, I'll vote against it. Because the money figure is not fair. And you know what's so funny? Even as we speak, some of the stuff that we have in this ordinance, the city is doing it. We don't really need all of that. And I think some of us who's been on this council for a while can acknowledge that we have laws and regulation that somewhat prevent some of these things. But to find someone with the expectation if they don't pay that, they might go to jail and put a judge in a situation, and I'll be honest with you, I can bet that if we do take one of these homeless people to court, the judge will dismiss the case. I can bet. And you expect our local law enforcement to go out there, and you know what's funny, and I'll tell you this, and I said it earlier, we have people who are very smart about laws and regulation, but we also have some new people who may not be seasoned. I'm not saying they're not smart, who may not be seasoned. And you will never know the consequences is when one of them go out there, arrested one of these people illegally, and expecting the city to make an example out of these people. And they will fire them on the spot, because you know why? When things doesn't go the way they expect it to be, that young police officer will pay the consequences. Because they're going to tell you, did you know you're not supposed to arrest this person? Did you know that or didn't you? The problem that I'm having is how you're going to convince these people to give you an idea. They don't even have it. It's how you expect them to pay for it. And obviously some of us are making some of us look bad as if, oh, we are not in favor of this. But listen to this. Some of the people that were in favor of this actually called me and telling me that they are against this. They were never in favor of charging the homeless people. That's a problem. And unless we are willing to sit together as a group and realizing that you cannot expect a homeless person to pay that money, they don't have it. And some of these people, they're not even here. That's a problem. That's not the debate. Obviously, some of us acknowledge it, but I look forward to that debate, whereby each of us will have an opportunity to talk about it. If we are willing to remove the money, maybe you can take me in consideration. But as long as that money is there, that fine is there, trust me, I will vote against it. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Councillor. Anyone else? You good, Councillor?
I'm good.
You're good. Well, having no further business for the people of the city of Brockton, again, wishing everybody a happy Thanksgiving and a great parade this weekend. This meeting is adjourned.